Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is May 11th, 2024, and questions are looming about whether the Barcelona associates or club members are planning a censure motion, and I have the answer for you. Also, Rafinha could agree to leave the club but only on one condition. And finally, there's currently a coach coming up in the Italian league which could become useful for Barcelona down the road. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the Kickback, and if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. Both links for Kickback and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now let's begin with the news, because there's been a lot of talks about whether the club members are currently planning a censure motion against the Barcelona president Joan Laporta. Now, in case you don't know what a censure motion is, that's when the club members vote in order to oust the current president because they don't like what he was doing. The last time Barcelona did that was against the former president Josep Maria Bartomeu. Of course, before the process could be finalized, Bartomeu ended up resigning, and now there are people asking whether the club members are planning a censure motion against Joan Laporta. Now, we know that Joan Laporta has been criticized a lot lately given what's going on with the Sporting project, where Barcelona will be ending the season trophyless. Also, Barcelona has been embarrassed in pretty much every competition and against many opponents, big and small. And as such, there has been people who have been doubting about whether Joan Laporta has been doing a good job managing the club, especially since he did allow Xavi Hernandez to continue when there were so many people opposed to that move. Now, as such, I've did some digging around, and this news comes to you from the reporter Adrian Sanchez. He's someone who's based in Barcelona, very close to the club, and he actually went around, interviewed the club members, a lot of the groups of the club members, because club members are divided into different groups, kind of like, you want to say, smaller political groups within a bigger club. And he has gone around to see what is the feeling around club members, and while most club members agreed that no censure motion will be presented. Now, are there people within the club who are opposed to Joan Laporta's continuance and would like to see a censure motion? Of course, there are people who are upset with the president and would like to see him ousted. However, the great majority of the club associates or the club members do not think that a censure motion is appropriate. They're not looking to bring a censure motion anytime soon. And the reason for that is because many of them think that there's currently no better alternative. I'm not saying that they can't think of someone better. There simply isn't anyone available. You know, we know Toni Freixo, someone who ran against Joan Laporta, has said he's not going to run again. We had Victor Font, who's still kind of in the background. He also ran against Joan Laporta, and he's still kind of in the background talking about the whole thing, criticizing Laporta. But he also has said that it's not the time yet. So since there are no other alternatives, then the club members are not willing to bring a censure motion, because it wouldn't make any sense to oust Laporta and then say, okay, great, we don't have a president. Who's next? Nobody. So then what do you do? So no, don't worry. There's currently no threat to Joan Laporta's presidency. Yes, there are people upset with him within the club. However, overall, the club members are not planning a censure motion. Now, let's move on to the news about Rafinha, because the Brazilian is once again being talked about a possible exit during the summer transfer market. And it seems that the Brazilian would be willing to leave, but only on one condition. Now, once again, Rafinha has been tied to Saudi Arabia, with lots of news and rumors saying that there are plenty of clubs in Saudi who would be willing to sign a Brazilian and would be willing to pay Barcelona a lot of money, upwards of 100 million euros. Of course, we heard that before. We heard that in the winter transfer market. We also heard it last summer transfer market. And given all this talk about whether Rafinha would go to Saudi or not, his entourage has kind of leaked this to the media, where his entourage has said that Rafinha will absolutely not go to Saudi Arabia. They have no interest in going to Saudi Arabia. The Brazilian wants to stay in Barcelona. He's happy about being at the club and living in the city of Barcelona. But despite that, he would still be willing to leave, but only on one condition. One condition only. Now, this condition would be, of course, first of all, Xavi would have to talk to Rafinha, would have to tell him, hey, we don't count on you. We would prefer for you to leave. And then in that case, Rafinha would agree, but only to a Premier League club. So again, Rafinha would prefer to stay in Barcelona, wants to stay in Barcelona, does not want to go to Saudi. But if Xavi asks him to leave, he would be willing to leave, but only if Barcelona can arrange a move to the Premier League. He's not interested in going to Saudi. He's not interested in going to any other league. Only to the Premier League, and only if Xavi asks him to. We'll have to see whether that happens or not. Of course, Barcelona are considering putting Rafinha on the market. He does have pretty good market value where Barcelona could make some profit. Also, he is a player that Barcelona consider has not lived up to the expectations. And of course, I do agree with the club, but Xavi does count on him. So we're going to have to wait and see until the summer what happens, whether the club do end up putting Rafinha on the market, or the Xavi insists on keeping him like he did last summer transfer market. Now we'll end today's video with some pretty interesting news, because there is a team in Italy, a team called Como, that was playing in the Serie B, which is the second division of the Italian league. And now they have officially been promoted to the Serie A, or the first division of the Italian league, for the first time in 21 years. And this has been thanks to no other than Cesc Fabregas, who has decided to begin already decided to begin his coaching career as Como's coach. It is thanks to him that his team is being promoted from the second to the first division of the Italian league for the first time in 21 years. And while you might say, why do we care that Cesc Fabregas is getting an Italian league promoted from second to first division? Well, I bring this up because Cesc Fabregas has said in the past that he would love to coach Barcelona in the future. So who knows, maybe we have a good coach in the making. Maybe we have, kind of a Barcelona DNA coach in the making. It's definitely going to be interesting to watch Cesc Fabregas' career to see what kind of coach he develops into. And who knows, maybe down the road, if he does become a great coach, then maybe Barcelona could bring him back, because there's nothing better, to me at least, than to see Barcelona legends come back to the club after they're done being players in some other shape or form. Pep Guardiola, he was a player, he came back as a coach. So it would be cool to see maybe Cesc Fabregas down the road. Of course, only once he has gained the experience, he's learned, he's matured, and once he has proved himself to be, to be able to run a big team like Barcelona, because we cannot repeat the same mistake we did with Xavi Hernandez. Anyways, I am curious to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Do you think Cesc Fabregas, would you like to see Cesc Fabregas as a Barcelona coach down the road? Let me know down below. Anyways, that is all for this video. I will be uploading another video in a few minutes, so stay tuned for that. There's lots of news coming out of Barca camp today. But of course, before we finish, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. And as always, Peace, Barca.